Okay, we're back. I just split the case with the other guy that I had split the case with. So we have 6 boxes, right? He said I was gonna do it, and here's a video of another box. So we'll just get right to it, right? The scary part of this, blink cases I'm always fine with, but it's really awkward if they end up pulling all the good stuff because the way I let him choose his boxes and he chose just one side of the case. He just took the 6 boxes off of one side of the case. So I guess we'll see what I pull from here straight away. But yeah, I did open like some more boxes from my local OTS store and almost Charmy in one, and then pulled QCRs in both boxes actually. QCR Full Metal Dragon, the red eyes, and then QCR Mimical Triumph, which is pretty good. But I've opened so much at this point, which is kind of sad, but I've opened so much that I don't really care too much about the QCRs, which is weird, because usually QCRs are kind of hard to pull. I mean, they're not like Starlight hard, but still hard to pull. So here, obviously, we're going to go for the big stuff. The scariest thing is, I don't know if he opened his boxes himself, but I just asked him to send me his pulls and stuff, if he pulls, like, whatever he pulls, so that we can kind of compare. I mean, obviously, best of luck to him, but, you know, hopefully I don't get screwed over too badly, right? We started with a drill beam. That's not bad. I know people are playing Primites. I can't remember why. I think they're using the Primites as a way to get to the full metal, but, okay, Lacrima. Not bad, not bad. Could be better. If only I can get a pro player to play more than one copy. That'd be pretty nice, right? Which is weird. It's like always like when a pro player does well at like a YCS or whatever cards they play, they just all go up because people buy them out because they're like, you know, pro player, you know, they do well with this card. So can I, right? Average Joe Schmuck. And then they forget or ignore the fact that a pro player is called pro for a reason. They aren't just a random player who just got luck. Well, I mean, there is some luck involved, obviously, to an extent, like hand trap, open hand traps, not all this stuff. But it's like they're pro for a reason. They know the interactions, they know how to play. So, but it happens all the time. Like people buying out Dominus Impulse and stuff. Now it's like $60, and it's like, well, the card was good from the beginning. We all knew that. So the fact that it only went up once the top like decks players, like the win deck, was like playing Impulse or whatever. I can't remember which one won the recent YCS, but basically they always wait till the pros do it and then they buy them out, which is always really funny. I mean, I remember telling people like before, I'm like, hey, you guys should probably get your cards because it's really cheap. 35 for like a copy of Impulse, like about 100, a little over 100 for like a playset. Yeah, I think that's worth it. And now it's like 180 basically for a playset. That happens all the time. I don't know. People are always like trying to come up with the excuse of, well, I was waiting to see if it was gonna be good or not. It's like, well, we knew it was good, and then you were somehow waiting for a topping list to include it and then buy it out. Which, I mean, you're not the most unique person in the room to think that, because a lot of people do the same thing, which is why they always get bought out a lot. Old Canix, that's actually not bad. Obviously, I was hoping for Molcharmy, but I think because I pulled the Lacrima, I couldn't have pulled the Molcharmy anyways. Okay, it's not bad. Okay, it's like 20, because it's like a 3 of, it's like a 2 or 3 of or something in Fire King Snake Eyes. I want to say 3 of, but I could also be wrong. But yeah, that's not a, well, I mean, it's still pretty awful. I mean, I paid, let's see, when we split the box, it was like $370 each person, so each box is like $60 or so. It's like 65. Sorry, excuse me. It's like 60, 65. Actually, it's in between. It's like 62.5 or something like that. I can't remember the exact number, but yeah, I mean, for a box, Volcanics is like $20 alone. Lacrima is like, actually, you know what? I don't even want to bother looking at Lacrima. It's a 1-of, which is really sad. She's so good, but you only need to play one of her, because obviously, whatever, like, Fiend into Requiem into Lacrima, Lacrima Affected Dump, all that stuff. Yeah, really good. But, you know, play one of her. Sure, I'm hoping for more, Fiendsmith support. Hoping to see if I could play as a full deck. Because I've been playing, well, I went to my locals today, actually, and played Fiendsmith Musketeers, which is a really fun deck, but it's mostly like blind second, board breakers, right? Which is really kind of awful in the format where you really do need hand trap to stop your opponent. But I'm hoping to play like the Fiend decks on their own, similar to how I want to play the Azuminas as its own deck, since there is going to be like new support and stuff for it. So, all right, I don't have my recycling with me, which is really awkward. So all these packs are just kind of sitting out here like this. Actually, let me just move this stuff over here. I'll do like this. Okay. I think I pulled the secret out of that. Alright. It's really scary, this set, though, because of all the clumping that we've seen, and that's really bad. And it's actually genuine clumping, too. It's not like, like short prints, because there is technically there's like no real short prints in core sets, but people like to call it that, which shows how uninformed they are. But, no, this is like genuine clumping where tons of cases are like not getting enough, 3 QCRs or whatever, like I did. But also like Molcharmies are like a 1 in like a single case, or it's like 6 in another case, right? It's like really weird numbers that are not normal and hasn't really happened as often as it has for other core sets as it has for this one. Mimic Charm, not great. I'm pretty sure Molcharmy can't pair with a charm. Again, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm just talking on my ass. I want to actually keep up numbers, but I think this will be the last time I open ROTA. Yeah, surprise, surprise, right? It's not like AGOF where I'm opening tons and tons and making content out of it. But, I know I'm not going to open that much of Sudo. Realistically, I'm just getting cards I need as singles, which is crazy to hear, but I need to slow down. And also, the set so far, we obviously still need reveals, but it's not that crazy. So, it's also, first half of the year, the core sets are just okay usually. They're okay to good, but like, it's not really worth investing too much into them. It's always better to go for the last core sets of the year, because obviously the best quarter profits are like the last for most companies. So, Konami here, TCG, wanting to sell as much product as possible, make as much money. Obviously, they're going to make the good stuff in the last core sets of the year. And you kind of have the evidence of it from like years before. Although technically last year, the third course of the year was Dune, which value-wise wasn't that good, because there was that whole fiasco of like, oh, stores weren't running Yu-Gi-Oh anymore because it was like unprofitable. And then they released AGOF, which changed everyone's minds. But yeah, I don't think I'm getting Sudo. I don't know the second core set because we don't know yet, but I probably won't get that either. I know I'm crossover breakers, QCR Bazinga, that's about it. I'll probably get some Maze of Masters. I don't know if I'm gonna get a whole set. The problem with Maze of Masters is it's like Maze of Millennia and Maze of Memories. It's a side set. So there are short prints. 100%. Which is really bad. Because like obviously like from that, I want the 7th Tachyon for Ryzeals. But because they'll have the like dual set inputs in there. But like there'll be other good cards in there is the problem. So like you kinda need to get the cards. But I didn't get that much of a Maze of Millennia, which is funny. But I remember pulling like a ton of bonfires, which is crazy. One of the few sets I think I at least broke even on. But like in terms of sets coming up, it's just QCR Bazinga next month, which I plan. I don't know for sure. Kind of have to look at finances and stuff, but I plan on getting at least 2 cases of that. Maybe 1.5. We'll see a split case. The problem is I'm so burned on Rarity Collection II. This one should be theoretically better because like the 200 card nostalgia pool is enough to get value out of. And I know it always feels weird talking about getting value because like, it's a trading card game, it's not an investment. You're right. But I'm like, as someone who plays the game, but also someone who does sell, it's like I'm opening sealed product. I am someone who is going to try and provide that supply to meet the demand. Like the amount of people, because like here in the Pacific Northwest, Deception is really good. That's nice. Even though it's sadly gone down actually. So I actually think I still neg, but whatever. But here in the Pacific Northwest, we have a regionals coming up in 2 days in Seattle. And well, I guess at the time of this recording, at least, but by the time it finishes uploading, it'll probably be tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, there's a Seattle regional coming up, and the amount of people have been asking me for like Molcharmy's Dominus, Impulse, and Deception has been genuinely annoying. It's like I have my own playset for my own self to play, and I'm like, I'm tempted to sell, but I'm also like, dude, I want to start playing a little more too. And you kind of do need some of these cards. I still need to test the Azamitas and stuff. But the Moltrami is pretty crazy, right? I actually managed to resolve through all those twice. My opponent had no response. And they decided to play into it, and I drew like 20, and I drew like, oh my god, I drew like 15 cards off them for some reason, which is crazy. The wildest thing is all you do is shuffle back random cards, and I'm like, well, I'm running Fiends and Musketeers, so it's all board breakers anyway, so, you know, hopefully you shuffle back a good amount of board breakers, and I still, even after shuffling back like what, 4 or 5 cards or something, because it's like cards you control plus 6, it's like, I still managed to, oh my god, what's going on with me? I still managed to get, like 2 Dark Rulers and 2 Red Gekis in hand, which was enough to break their board anyways. Yeah. But yeah, going back to Bazinga, right? Still scary. The MSRP is not as high as Rarity Collection II, so it should be better theoretically. The problem is like we already have all the staples, or at least most of the staples, right? So at this point, the QCR Bazinga set is only really going to have cards that technically need reprints, but they aren't exactly generic staples, right? Like, I wouldn't call Dia Bellstar a super generic. So, there's a QCR. You know, I'm getting bad luck with the QCRs in this set. I still want the Ultimate Dragon of Pride, the fusion. I mean, it's a QCR, right? I should be happy, right? But it's Chimera. Unfortunate. Also, that was, wait, was that the top? Was that the top? I don't even remember. I had to look back at the video, man. I didn't even know if that was the I mean, yeah. I mean, QCR is QCR, right? But the problem is, like, worth nothing. It's a sad case of, well, maybe this should have been the QCR, or this should have been an Ultra. It should have been the Synchro. The Synchro would have been better, value-wise and playability, too. Granted, I think, you know, it doesn't matter. It's like a one-off, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I just think it's more fitting for the archetype, but it is what it is. Man, QCR pulls are so weird for me. I don't ever pull super crazy on QCRs. I can pull like crazy secrets and stuff, which is great. But I never pull like crazy QCRs. Like AGOP, I opened so much of it, and I think I unironically pulled every single QCR myself, except for the one that matters the most, SP Little Knight, which I actually technically need a QCR now, but I think it doesn't matter as much. I think I'd rather go for like a Starlight IP or IP Masquerena or Appaloosa at that point, or at this point. But yeah, never pulled it QCR SP Little Knight, which is unfortunate, and it's crazy considering how much I opened, to be honest. And I think that's the set that to date I've opened the most of. Like, God, I think I don't even want to look at the actual numbers. I'm pretty sure it's in like the 4K range at least. Man, that was something else. But yeah, obvious with the set, a little unfortunate. Way too top heavy. I wish they had ultras that was actually worth stuff. Yeah, some ultras are worth like a couple dollars, which is cool. But like most of the ultras aren't worth like crap. Like we don't have like a Typhon or anything for this set, which is unfortunate. You know, like I was hoping, because like Typhon's like, hey, like you could pull a good amount of them from AGOP. Like in a case, you were pulling like a pretty decent amount. Granted, like 15 ultras a set. And it's like 4 a box on average. So, what, 12 boxes? So 48 ultras. So, like, you weren't pulling a super crazy amount, but it was still pretty nice pulling an ultra that's worth like $30 at the time. But, we don't really have anything for this set like that. None of the ultras like super crazy. I see stuff like Mermails potentially going up. Also, the Flying Mary as well. It's just in the format. Like, you know, Flying Mary is just generic zombie support, but in this current format, it just has no place, unfortunately. But I imagine, like, when the time comes when, like, zombies are more meta, Flying Mary will be worth a lot more. That, assuming it's before a reprint or something. And then Mermails, obviously, people are still exploring it, and the format's still new, but I think the Mermail support, from what I've seen, is pretty good, and I think it's actually has potential, but the problem is, like, what, the extra deck stuff is, like, all one-ofs. And, like, the main deck stuff, like, Shadow Squad is, like, a 3 of, Abyss Rhyme's, like, a 1-of or something. Oh. Giant Mimigal. Alright. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Was that all my secrets? Wait, no. Yes? I've opened 3 boxes so far. I pulled the blue eyes, I'm pretty sure. So I think that's all my secrets. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really tired. I just kind of got back home, showered, all that stuff. Love you, true. All right, let's see. I read the Water Chandler. She's really good too. I actually don't know Marvel's player though. I don't know. Just want to kind of pay attention right now. There's so much happening in the meta right now. Obviously, it's still very much new, so still a developing format. But we'll have to see where things go. It's actually crazy how fast we're moving with a lot of stuff. The QCR Bazinga will reprint a lot of stuff, and then after that, it's the crossover breakers, which is an insane set. Yeah, I've opened 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is the 4th box. So, oh boy. Okay, so they weren't in the same column, so at least I know that this case was a good mix of QCRs in terms of where they were distributed. So at least my friend has at least probably 1 QCR, I imagine. I can't imagine pulling another QCR, to be very honest. If I pull another, it's just 1 at most. I cannot imagine pulling another QCR at this point. Obviously, we're hoping for something good. We pulled a Deception. That's nice. Volcanics is fine. Right? Yeah. I think Volcanics is fine. And then Deception. QCR still neg, right? Because it's, again, 4th box. It's like 62.5. Okay, I pulled the 2nd QCR. That's really crazy. I don't think I have the other QCR. Surely I don't. They weren't all in the same column, by the way. I already opened the boxes on one corner, but like I pulled 2 QCRs, so that means the other QCR he either has it or whatever. But that actually is really sad because usually the QCRs were like good, like okay, and bad. These are both pretty bad right now. Mimigools are like okay, Mimigools have potential. It just also like both these QCRs were on the right side of the box. Like the clumping of this is so weird because I didn't ever have it with like other core sets previously, especially from this year, where like they're all pretty consistent. Like the QCRs are on the left side generally, very rare for the right side. And I've just been pulling QCRs on the right side, and it feels really weird. And then like the weird clumping issues with like the chase cards and like really, yeah, I don't know, man. This set's really awful. Having clumping, I mean, granted they don't have short prints because I think they said it at one point, but having clumping in the core set, it's like really, really bad. Like that just feels so awful. I've seen a case open, not just my own, but I've seen other cases pulled with like just a single Molcharmy, and it's like, oh man, that's gotta be really terrible. And even like I've seen a case that pulled that was 1 Molcharmy, 1 Dominus, and then like 2 Deceptions, and oh man, that's awful. Heart of Blue Eyes. What did I pull from the last one? I got Heart of Blue Eyes and then Giant Mimigal Throne. I swear, if it's another... I don't think I think this pairing is not going to have the Molcharmy. I think it has a chance for Impulse. Yeah, I think it's Impulse, Lacrima, Giant Mimighoul, and then something else. Yeah, I need to actually start writing. I think... I can't do the next set. I have to wait, man. I don't think I plan on getting cases until the 3rd, 4th quarters of the year, so it won't be a while until I actually do another huge case opening like this again, unless I get like some super good deal on like the cases, right? Like if they're like absurdly cheap, like I don't know, like 600 a case somehow, yeah, sure, I'll do a case opening. But it's like, I don't know, like after seeing the patterns of how like the case openings are in terms of value and stuff, obviously they don't want to front load everything and put all the good stuff at the first half of the year, so they have to save it for the second half. But man, what the heck? Actually, I'm gonna be really sad. I mean, congrats to them, but I'm gonna be really sad if my friend pulls a QCR if I don't have the other 3rd QCR, assuming there's 3 at least. If I pull these 2 QCRs and he gets like a really good one, it'll just be really, really sad because it's pathetic. Because Mimigools are really good, but obviously they're not really that great for the current meta. I think if we kind of lower the power a bit with the next ban list, Mimigools will see a lot more play because their support is actually pretty good. Like they're a playable, competent deck, but it just doesn't have a place in the current meta, right? And then some turns Premier got and so on. But the main thing is that Mimigools playable, but they're not just great for the current format. God, I'm getting really scared now. This is the 4th box. So I have 2 more boxes. Surely I don't pull another QCR. I told him I'd tell him my pulls too, so I hope maybe he opened his today, but I mean, Maybe he also just slept. And then he'll probably open it tomorrow or something. I don't know. I know it was like him and his wife who... Ooh, Deception. Really nice. Yeah. I guess Deception can be pretty bad. I know he was saying that he was also getting case because like his wife is like very excited, which is actually a common thing I see a lot. Where like someone will be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And their significant other really wants to open packs and stuff, which is like fair. You know, opening packs is very fun. So, and I think splitting a case is not like an awful idea. I just feel like for the future, I should just kind of, if I'm doing splitting cases with sets like this, I'm fine with splitting obviously, but I think I should focus more on splitting cases with like side sets, like the QCR Bazinga. And I know I plan on splitting it with a friend of mine, but it's just getting the funds because I've kind of spent a lot from last month just because of how much ROTA I bought, which is weird because I say a lot. I only bought like technically 3 cases, but more like 2.5, right? Because of the split. It doesn't feel like a lot, but I spent like a good amount. And then obviously buying some boxes at locals too, but yeah. Okay. 5th box. So, this is a little awkward. No Molcharmies yet. No Impulse either, actually. So, maybe he has the Molcharmies. God. At this point, like, I should be excited about the QCRs, but it's so... They're so whatever that I would rather have taken Molcharmy. I would much rather... It's so weird to say this, too. Saying that I'd rather have a secret rare than 2 QCRs, but that just shows to you the value of how low these are. Like, it's too front-hand heavy. Like, some of these cards are secrets should not be secrets. Like, I think... maybe something better than Egg Off, too, one day. Like, I think they should just have a set where they just put a bunch of crack stuff in it. Make it a lot more valuable, right? Maybe, like, follow some level... Because I know, like, Crossover Break is going to follow the OC... Huh. Okay, so I had all the QCRs then. Yikes, I don't know what that's really awkward. I have all the QCRs. Also, another Deception, too. That makes 2 Deceptions I pull. Which I guess makes Deception the good one. I guess Giant Mimigal the okay one, Primera the bad one? But then Mimigal and like Centurion Primera are pretty bad anyways. But wow, yeah, I'm gonna send a message on Discord later. That's really unfortunate. I ended up pulling the 3 QCRs. They weren't really clumped. They were actually in different... Yeah, I guess it was 2 in one column and 1 in another. But yikes. No, maybe he gets a QCR. There's a chance of 4, like I said in the previous video, and I said it before. There is a chance of 4. And on average, it's like a better chance of 3 to 4 rather than 2 to 3. Obviously, I got the 2 QCRs the last set, but okay, Lacrima. That's good. Yeah, that's good. No Molcharmy. I think maybe Dominus. Hoping for Dominus, but. Yeah, the ratios of it is like usually 3 to 4, so... And I don't think there's ever been a case of 5. It just doesn't happen. So, maybe someone can, like, prove me wrong, but I'm like, fairly certain that there's never been a reported case of 5 QCRs. Which is really sad, because when QCRs were first announced, I always thought 25 QCRs. I was, like, so excited. I'm like, what's the pull rate? And it says, like, 3 to 4. I'm like, why is it not 5? Right? Like... 1, it would lower the value of the QCRs too, so that they're not absurdly expensive, right? So it makes them still highly sought after by collectors or players who want high rarities, but like it's not too crazy where like you will break the bank. But I feel like 5 QCRs would be more fair for sets with like 25 QCRs, which by the way, I don't know what Sudo or Supreme Darkness is going to do this. I kind of hope we don't have... It's a weird thing, because, like, Starlights and QCRs are literally the same thing. No matter what people argue, they are the same exact thing. But I just think if we're going to go back to Starlights or something, we need better rates, because these rates are pretty awful. 3 to 4 QCRs is, like, okay, but then Starlight ratios were, like, 1 every 2 cases, essentially, which is really stupid. Especially when, like, 2/5 of them, at least, were, like, awful Starlights, but in terms of rarities, they're basically the same thing. QCRs and Starlights are like the same, so it doesn't really matter. And I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Maybe they do a different rarity, but I don't know, man. Like maybe if they do something like Starlights, but like a little more. I think do at least like 10, and then do like 1 or 2 a case or something, or 15. Sure, I'll take 15 Starlights and do like 1 or 2 a case at the very least. if not 2 to 3. I think that'd be a lot better. That way you have a better selection of Volcanics. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, not the whole McCartney. It'd be the same thing. What was I gonna say? It'd be kind of the same case as like QCRs with like 3 to 4 for every 25 QCRs, but like I think like with 10, 15 starlights, at least they could be a lot more selective. Instead of making every secret and ultra QCR, they can at least limit it to be more selective, because I'll be real on this. Doesn't matter if they're ultras or secrets. More than half of these cards do not deserve to have a high rarity like a QCR. I think it's really stupid. Technically, it lowers the value of the lower rarities, right? Like there's a secret deception and there's a QCR. Technically, if there was no QCR deception, the deception would be worth a little more. I can't remember the reasoning behind it. Someone was telling me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But I think it's just because technically there's more printings of it, I guess, in a sense. There was something to it. I can't remember shit at this point. But anyways, that's not what I'm focusing on right now. I'm opening boxes. I'm on the last one. Okay. He has maybe no QCRs, but he likely has at least 1, if not 2, Molcharmies. If I don't pull a Molcharmy, or he even has Dominuses. If I don't pull a Molcharmy or Dominus here, it's going to be annoying. Yeah, I pulled the Deceptions, which is cool, but like, man. This is just so awkward. The case spread is just so weird, man. Now I'm really curious to know what he pulled. Because again, the problem is, if he doesn't pull it, if he pulls a 1 Molcharmy, then it's just another clump case, and the clump cases don't feel good. This shouldn't be a thing, man. Also, the quality control. Yes, we know. I keep ragging on Konami, even though I say that I want to be sponsored just so I can open boxes early. But I mean, realistically, man, like the quality control needs to be better. The fact of this clumping this makes it so bad. It doesn't make opening cases super fun. Like Agov, I keep going back to Agov, and it's so weird because maybe I'm nostalgic for it, but it just felt more exciting because I'm like, the pulls felt a lot better because there was more secrets and even some ultras that were worth it. But then sets like this are just like way too tough. I think top hand heavy might feel kind of good as a seller, but as one myself, I don't feel that good if I'm not getting, because I'm opening like sealed product obviously, but of course the better way to technically do it would be buying singles on the low and selling it high. But I just feel like it doesn't feel good opening more than half these secrets, and oh my god, it's a giant Imigul. Yeah, I'm not pulling it. I don't have a Molcharmy. There's 0 chance. But it just doesn't feel good when you're opening more than half these secrets and all these ultras basically, and they're worth like absolutely nothing. Like I sell it online, yes, but I have to pay like fees for that. Like there's a credit card processing fee, which is like 30 cents plus 2% or some garbage, and then there's the normal site fees because I use CCG Player, so it's like basically 15%, which is about what I sell at a local level. But at a local level, I can still get a little more because there's no processing fees. They pay it by like friends and family through PayPal or whatever, and it's easier to move technically. Whereas like shipping is just really awkward because like sometimes they just get lost in the mail, or a few times it happens, but like people try to scam you, which is really stupid. But yeah. It just doesn't feel good when most of these pulls are just kind of garbage. Like at this point, like I kind of hold a lot of secrets and ultras just to hope they go up in values or something, just to try and break even again. Because like, you know, obviously like I want to break even on this product, but like it just doesn't feel good if I'm selling it right away. And only like if I'm selling like cards, like I'm not gonna sell the Primeras realistically if they're only like a couple of cents. Like I think it's like 50 cents for the Primeras. Oh, I keep saying Primera. I mean Chimeria. It's not Chimera. That looks really weird, but whatever. We'll just call it Chimera. It's not like I'm going to sell the Chimeras when they're only like 50 cents, right? Like, surely there's a chance that they actually go up. So that way they're actually worth sending out. Because, you know, obviously it's $127 minimum for shipping, unless you pay $5, at least for me, when I'm selling. But then, like, then you have, the fees attached to it too. And then if you're only selling it for, like, basically if you're selling like stuff that's essentially bulk, you aren't really making money off of it. You're paying more into it. It increases your sales and your visibility, I guess, in terms of, especially if you get good ratings, but like it doesn't really do much for your profits, and if anything, you're paying more into it just to try and get rid of bulk, basically, which this pretty much is. Except it's a QCR, but I don't even think it's that expensive, to be honest. Oh, God, okay. We have to pack... Well, I can't pack trick this. I'm terrible at that, but... I revealed it too early. Never mind, stupid. Well, there's a Dominus Impulse. I don't have a Molcharmy. So, in the 6 boxes I opened 3 QCRs. 2 of them are terrible. 1 of them is good. I pulled 2 Deceptions and a Dominus Impulse. So in terms of value, we'll go over after I open these last few packs. This is really unfortunate. No Molcharmies, man. Really? Ugh. It's unfortunate, but at least technically the price per box is a lot cheaper than average. But okay, so Planarian. All right. So Deception, I'm pretty sure is like 100. I want to say Giant Mimigool is like 25. This is like a 1-2 of for the deck, I believe. And then Chimera is just a 1 of. This, I imagine, is like probably like $20. So 20 and 25, we'll say 145 for the QCRs, right? That doesn't even count for fees. So 145. Then we have 60 for Dominus Impulse, so that's 200. We have the Volcanics, which is 20, so that's 220. These are like 45s, I think. Yeah, so 220, 260, 300, and then 320. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is like kind of like dollars or cents or whatever. They're not really worth it. The Blue Eyes stuff could actually potentially go up just because Blue Eyes, but also the Millennium Duck is actually pretty good since it's just free searches on. But I mean, overall, those are my polls. These were just okay. GH. It could have been better, obviously, but for getting half of a case, this wasn't terrible. I should be happier pulling all the QCRs, but it's just the QC. That's the problem. They make so many QCRs that like, oh, you have a good one here, but then you have an okay one here. Well, granted, this is like format dependent, but by the time it probably has a place in the meta or the format, it's like this will probably be reprinted, which who cares, right? It'll be worth nothing. And then something like this is like a one of, who cares? This is like garbage too. So, like realistically, I didn't break even. I still got pretty close to it overall, especially if I kind of look through these ultras and sell them, but. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, I didn't know what I was going to pull. Unfortunate for my friend that he didn't pull in QCRs, probably, but he also probably makes out better by pulling at least a Molcharmy, which, in terms of how much we paid each, a Molcharmy is literally, like, 1/3 of the value of, like, our case together. But, yeah, that's all I have for this video. I've been talking quieter because I'm like really tired, but also this will probably be the last time I do a box opening for this set. The next time I'll be doing box openings is probably going to be the QCR Bazinga set. I want to see if I could try to get boxes early, but I don't think I can get them that early, unfortunately. Also, again, I need to figure out finances with how much I spent on this and how much I've unfortunately basically negged, which is weird because I spent so much more, and I think I basically broke even with how crazy value like a lot of the cards are. But yeah, with that said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I guess the next time I'll see you will probably be QCR Bazinga, an opening case, a case at least, but I'm gonna try to open like 2 cases of that at least, maybe depending on how the set goes. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.